News. Cops probing fatal rape drug OD tied to king of all pimps. By Jamie Schramm. September 26, 2011, 9:02 a.m. Julia Sumnick died of an overdose after visiting the home of Manhattan pimp Jason Itzler and Zoltan Prepshent.
Mr. Bass.
Jason Itzler and Zoltan Prepshent. Jason Itzler and Zoltan Prepshent. Miami Beach cops are investigating the death of an aspiring model who suffered a fatal overdose of a date rape drug hours after she left the apartment of notorious king of all pimps, Jason Itzler, and his roomie, the Post has learned. Revelations of the probe, and a private investigation by the family of the dead woman, come as Itzler, 44, is locked up in a Manhattan jail on unrelated charges of promoting prostitution and drug sales. The woman, Julia Sumnick, a 21-year-old Wisconsin college student, had been visiting Miami Beach, Florida, in March 2010 in hopes of breaking into the world of fashion modeling. A year before, during her first visit to the city, she had met Itzler's roommate, Hungarian photographer Zoltan Prepshent, the family's investigators say. In their report to the family, the private investigators listed a chronology of Sumnick's last morning alive, March 15, 2010. The PIS, Walter Philbrick and Chris Catania of the C3 detective agency in Oshkosh, WIS, wrote that Sumnick exchanged text messages with Prepshent and arranged to go with him early that morning to the said nightclub. Citing text messages, surveillance camera footage and other evidence, the private investigators said Sumnick and Prepshent spent time at the club, returned for 2 hours to the Flamingo Towers apartment where he lived with Itzler, and left together again. Julia then went to an apartment building where she was staying as a guest of another photographer. That other photographer later told another model that Sumnick had been drunk when she came home and went to bed, despite an autopsy report that showed only a minute trace of alcohol in her urine. Investigators said. When he returned home later in the afternoon, the other photog found Sumnick dead in bed. An autopsy report, obtained by the Post, showed she had died from ingesting the data rap drug GHB. Based on a number of factors, including her behavior before and after going to the Flamingo Towers and the amount of time it takes for the drug to affect one's system, the investigators concluded that she ingested it while in the apartment that Prepshent shared with Itzler, according to their report, which was provided to the Post. Itzler, in a jailhouse interview with the Post, admitted to taking GHB himself that night after Sumnick came to his apartment with Prepshent. It wasn't clear how or exactly when Sumnick ingested it. "I almost died that night," Itzler said of the effect the GHB had on him. Zoltan changed all the decorating of the apartment. "He knew that I threw up all over the apartment. I vomited GHB residue all over." Itzler said Prepshent retained a lawyer and hired another for Itzler after Sumnick's death. Prepshent did not respond to requests for comment. A Miami Beach police spokesman declined comment, citing the ongoing investigation. Additional reporting by Amber Sutherland. Trending now. Obama's personal chef drowns while paddleboarding in pond near ex-president's Martha's Vineyard estate. Fancy quartz countertops